I never thought that doing what everyone else is doing is the only way or is the only correct way.
I didn't know that I'll be director one day. But the first person I approached when I wrote Maqbool was Tabu.
Yeah.
And मुझे लगा था कि कि Tabu भी बोलेगी हीरो कौन है. Tabu ने पूछा ही नहीं हीरो कौन है.
And I feel that all my life, if there was any one director that I was given a choice कि तुम सिर्फ इस डायरेक्टर के साथ काम कर सकते, I'll give working with him. It's true. कहाँ मिलेगा मुझे ऐसा रिश्ता?
Vishal sir, Tabu ma'am, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you.
You know, before the conversation, before this interview, we were talking about the pictures, and I'm going to start my interview with a picture of yours that it's on Vishal sir's Instagram page. It's an amazing warm image of the both of you hugging. He had posted on your birthday last year on November 4, and the caption reads, "Bachpan ka pyaar mera bhool nahi jana re." So please tell me about this Bachpan ka pyaar and when it began really.
Oh yeah, when we were kids. Yeah, actually, my Tabu के साथ मेरा इतना लंबा एसोसिएशन है. मेरे सबसे ज़्यादा फीमेल गाने जो हैं वो सब टबू के ऊपर पिक्चराइज हुए हैं. जो मैंने फिल्में डायरेक्ट भी नहीं की थी, जिनमें मैंने म्यूजिक किया, सब में भी टबू थी. बहुत फिल्में हैं.
दृश्यम, भागमती, चाची 420,
हंसल की जो
दिल पे मत ले यार. Yeah, actually,
सारी फिल्में.
He's done the maximum of my movies as music director.
And it started from Maachis. Tabu का पूरा एक persona, पूरी image पूरी अलग हुई माचिस से. मेरी पूरी एंट्री तो we owe so much to Maachis and Guldar Sahab. And then somehow this relationship just continued because I never wanted to be director. I didn't know that I'll be director one day. But the first person I approached when I wrote Maqbool was Tabu.
Yeah.
And मुझे लगा था कि Tabu भी बोलेगी हीरो कौन है. Tabu ने पूछा ही नहीं हीरो कौन है. बोले किसी को भी ले लो. I'm doing this film. So the प्यार बड़ा पुराना है.
Correct. No, but ma'am, this like he said, it started from Maachis, then Maqbool, then Khufiya, and people evolve over the years, people change over the years, but some equations remain the same, I'm sure. Has it evolved? Has it changed? Or has it remained the same?
Change, though it hasn't. I think the comfort that we have with each other is the basis of our relationship. And from there, so much has happened. And because there is so much comfort, because I'm so comfortable with him, that I feel free to do anything in his movies, through him, with him. And for me, it's to watch him, how he makes movies, how he thinks, because like he said, he never wanted to be a director, and becoming a director just, like that. And I always wonder, कैसे किया आपने? फिर आपने किसी को असिस्ट भी नहीं किया? अच्छा, उससे पहले क्या किया? कुछ भी नहीं. So मेरे लिए बहुत ही intriguing चीज़ है to watch a filmmaker bring all this and bring what he has to the film, to the screen. तो comfort level वैसा ही है. It hasn't changed at all. Of course, and I think the kind of work we have done together also has a particular quality.
Yeah.
And that will remain because of who he is and because of the kind of stuff that he brings to his film and to cinema and what he brings with him.
Yeah.
As a person and his vision. So, and that is the most, individualistic part of his creation. इसीलिए I keep working with him and I keep wanting to work with him, and I feel that all my life, if there was any one director that I was given a choice कि तुम सिर्फ इस डायरेक्टर के साथ काम कर सकते, I'll keep working with him. It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something that is unchanged. Yeah.
So just like you mentioned in your Instagram post, Tabu is my pyaar also. I've really admired her for many years. And the last interview that I did with her, She said, I asked her about, how she's played so many diverse characters, but touchwood, she's never got stereotyped. And she gave an answer to this saying, I just find myself really fortunate that my directors and filmmakers did not stereotype me in their heads.
Yes.
And, but I feel she was also being humble about this answer. Why do you think it has never happened with her?
I think it's about the choices you make, and that those choices come from who you are as a person. So Tabu, I think, is a very, very evolved person. No, people don't know. I must tell you, she writes lovely poetry, and she will never get her poems printed. And we all should force her that.
Please.
And it's not that she. I've been hearing her poetry when just after Maachis.
Oh.
She used to go and narrate her poems to Guldar Sahab. So. Yeah, so now she's blushing.
Yeah, she's again tight-lipped.
He knows a lot of aspects of me and my personality.
Yeah, so once I went to meet Mr. Mohanlal in Kerala for some part I wanted him to play. So he said, I'm shooting, so you come and spend time with me on set. So I went on set and spent a whole day with him, and I realized, the people who were coming to meet him, there was a musicologist who came. Then there was a mathematician who came to meet him. And I asked him after the pack-up that, why these kind of, I never thought that he'll be sitting with a mathematician. So he said lovely things, that we live in our own world. And, to evolve, to think beyond who we are, I keep this kind of company.
Wow.
Otherwise, for him to sit with the musicologist, nothing. After the pack-up, we had a drink with that musicologist, and he's asking, what do you think of Aamir Khan Sahab, And to Mohanlal to ask Aamir Khan Sahab from a musicologist of Kerala, and he's giving his point of view from the Carnatic point of music. So it is. So आज हम टबू को जो देख रहे हैं वो टबू हमको दिखाई देती फिल्मों के थ्रू है, तो इसलिए जो आपका सवाल है वो इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो उसके जो इंसान तो वो है जो वो उसके जो घर में है, बाहर है, जो दोस्त कैसे हैं, आपकी कंपनी कैसी है, आप किन चीज़ों में क्या चीज़ पढ़ते हैं, क्या चीज़ लिखते हैं, उससे बनते हैं. तो आई थिंक दिस इज द चॉइसेस शी मेड. That's why she didn't become a stereotype.
Tabu ma'am, how are you as a person? We get to know so much about you, and he's right, even as a viewer, even as a journalist, even as a fan of your work, I've only known through your films. But what is Tabu the person?
I don't think anyone can describe themselves as a person.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for any one of us to be able to describe, okay, this is me as a person. Yes, I wanted to make my own journey, and I wanted to make a journey not just to be different or stand out, but because I never thought that doing what everyone else is doing is the only way or is the only correct way. So those choices I made, and I think as people, to describe ourselves, why we always fall short is because we are changing every day. Yeah. Who you were yesterday or 10 years back, you are not today. So describe karna to I think impossible hai kisi ke liye.
Sure, I'll try again in the next interview and I'll get a little more out of you. So this is an adaptation of a novel, and you have adapted even Shakespeare in the past, but this is non-fiction for the first time. Does the approach change in terms of then approaching your script, approaching your, making sure what you portray on the screen? Does it become a bigger responsibility?
No, actually I adapted Talwar also from real life incident.
Yes.
But that was a very, very, vulnerable case, and people have the opinion about that.
Yeah.
This is the world people don't know. And in fact even I didn't know, and अभी तो फिर गवर्नमेंट ने एम्बार्गो कर दिया है कि now no officer can write about their operations, or it's an embargo on everyone, not just R&W, on all the government departments. They can't write books. But fortunately this book was written before, and it's written by Amar Bhushan, Mr. Amar Bhushan, जो कि काउंटर एस्पेनाज यूनिट जो R&W का, जो कि देखता है कि कि हम दूसरी एजेंसीज हमारे यहाँ पेनिट्रेट ना करें और हमारे लोग किसी दूसरों को सीक्रेट्स ना बेचें. उनका काम यही होता है, काउंटर एस्पेनाज. वो उसके डायरेक्टर रहे हैं, और ये केस जब हुआ तो ये उनके अंडर में हुआ था. उन्होंने ये बुक लिखी है और ये किताब में बहुत डिटेलिंग है, बहुत डिटेलिंग इतनी है कि आप डिटेलिंग से बोर भी हो जाते हैं, बट इतना खूबसूरत डिटेलिंग है कि अगर आप वो किताब पढ़ेंगे तो आपको लगेगा कि आप RNW ऑफिस के अंदर हो। पर ये भी पता चलता है कि वो लोग हमारे जैसे ही हैं, अकाउंटेंट इज़ जेलस, किसी के घर से खाना नहीं आया है, वो लोग वेपन्स नहीं रखते हैं। जो मैंने पहली चीज़ उसमें पढ़ी थी वो ये कि एक बस आती है और बस में सब लोग अपने टिफ़िन लेके, ऑफिसर्स जो हैं वो इंडिया गेट पे रुकेगी, वो लोधी कॉलोनी पे रुकेगी, तो वहाँ से वो लोग बसों में चढ़ के एक स्पेशल बस आती है अपनी। तो टू सी, हम वो नहीं है कि जैसे सलमान की तरह हवा में उड़ते हुए बाल की तरह RNW ऑफिसर नहीं आता है। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, आई एन्जॉय दोज फिल्म ऑल्सो, बट ये एक रियलिटी ऑफ जो इस दुनिया की जो एक रियलिटी है वो उसने मुझे बहुत फैसिनेट किया था।
Sure. Sir, this also makes me want to ask you, how as filmmakers, also I'm really a lover of cinema. I observe a lot of things very closely, even the business part of it. So from that angle, I want to understand, as a filmmaker, how do you decide this material will release on OTT and this will go in theaters now?
ये तो खैर उस ज़माने की बात है जब ये मैंने बनानी ही ओरिजिनल के लिए मैंने सोचा था, बिकॉज जिस तरह का पैसा मुझे ये बनाने के लिए चाहिए था
जी,
क्योंकि फिल्म का एक्सपेंस आपने देखी है, फिल्म शॉट इन अमेरिका एंड प्रोडक्शन वैल्यू जो पूरा था, और उसके लिए मुझे अपने ऊपर उतना पैसा नहीं मिल सकता था। तो आई नीडेड अ स्टूडियो हु कैन बिलीव इन दिस स्क्रिप्ट एंड नेटफ्लिक्स डिड।
Sure. Tabu ma'am, you recently said about Vishal sir, whatever scripts he writes, he thinks of me only. Two-part question. Sir, first, is it true?
या ऑफ कोर्स जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं कि मैंने अभी एक नावल पढ़ा, तो वो नावल मुझे पढ़ते हुए बड़ा खूबसूरत नावल है, रेत समाधि उसका नाम है। तो वो पढ़ते हुए मुझे लगा कि द ओनली पर्सन हु कैन प्ले दिस पार्ट इज टबू। तो
देखा ये सच है।
yes, तो मुझे वो पढ़ते हुए मुझे वो नॉवल में और ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट आ गया कि अरे ये तो टबू के साथ ये दिस कैन बी रियली समथिंग ग्रेट, एंड आई हैवंट टोल्ड हर अबाउट दैट नॉवल।
मैं अभी सुन रही हूँ।
So then it will happen?
Yes, of course.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh lovely.
कहाँ मिलेगा मुझे ऐसा रिश्ता?
Anything else you all are planning? Anything else in the pipeline that you all are discussing? Any new film as well?
हम लोग खुफिया को फ्रेंचाइज करना चाहते हैं, एंड KM को हम लोग एक फ्रेंचाइज कैरेक्टर बनाना चाहते हैं।
Wow.
So we keep on making खुफिया every year.
Oh lovely.
Yeah.
Oh lovely. I can't wait to see that, and I can't wait to see everything else you guys are doing in the future. It's an honor for me to sit in the same room and speak to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.